So the guys that really the only guy that didn't practice today was Willie Gay. So everybody else was out there and in some form or another and working. So Breland, Hilaire, Fenton, Mahomes, and Sammy all did some work. Today's not the biggest part. Tomorrow's bigger practice, longer practice than what today is, but they all seem to make it through well, and we'll just see how it goes tomorrow. So look for the challenge of playing the Bills. So they're a good football team, well coached. I mean, Sean's done a tremendous job there. He's got really good coordinators, head coach caliber coordinators, and they're just a real good football team. Every angle you look at, they're a good football team and have talent. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
Go first to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy, can you tell us how much Pat did? Was he full? Was he limited? How much Pat did, and how he looked when he was out there as well?
Yeah, so he looked good. He's just he's in the protocol, so there's only certain things he can do, and and it's a limited basis. But today is a little bit limited practice, so this fit right into what he could do, and but he took all the snaps, and he feels good. So I mean, we're just going to follow this protocol as close as we possibly can. So
let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. After the Falcons game, you and Patrick both had mentioned some issues with protection calls. I'm just curious. Can you walk us through like the 21 days, how you guys address that? And I know the Browns don't blitz a lot, but how you thought those guys did the other night?
Yeah, no, I thought the guys did well. We've got a veteran line, so I mean they're pretty adept at what they do. Every once in a while there'll be a hiccup, and then it's good to have the veterans there so they can all fix it between Pat and the guys. And I think that's probably what Pat was talking about. Just they worked out the different looks, and we walked through them and made sure we're sound in those areas.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, when you look at the Buffalo Bills, you haven't, obviously it's been since week 6 since you played them, but what's different about them now compared to when you were preparing for them back then?
It looks like they're healthy. I mean, they were missing a couple of guys at that time and key guys. And so I think that they've got everybody back and they're playing at a high level. I mean, they've reeled off quite a few games here in a row of victories. And like I said, they're well coached and they're a good player. So Herbie, they're playing good football right now.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, I was curious about what you remember seeing about Sean during his days in Philadelphia that maybe led you to believe that he could lead a team to this level.
Yeah, well, very organized, very smart, and very tough. I would tell you are the primary characteristics. State wrestling champ, that whole deal. He was a safety in college at William and Mary Academic School, and he was one of the starters. He and Mike Tomlin actually. So, and their backfield was pretty good there. Their secondary was pretty good. Sharper was the other one. And then he came from a coaching family. So his dad was a heck of a coach, and Sean just kind of picked up right from there, and very solid, very good.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, I have 2 questions for you. Just wanted to clarify that Bashaud Breeland is through the concussion protocol. Was he cleared sort of the
he's working through it too. He's in concussion protocol working through it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And then secondly, this may sound silly to some degree, but does anything really change offensively in terms of the game planning with Patrick in the protocol and obviously Chad going through most of the reps, or does it mostly stay the same?
Yeah, when Chad was in the game, we didn't have to really change much. So that was a plus. And so we're just leaving it the way we do. Chad's comfortable with it. And, he feels that he can handle that if needed. So I think it's all well there.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, just real quick, a housekeeping formality, and this may be one that, frankly, your answer is going to be none of your business. It sounds like it's the third stage of the protocol. I don't know what the obligations are on whether or not you have to tell us that or not, but I just want to make sure we ask it in case it is something that you can share with us. Do we know what, can you tell us which stage he's in?
Yeah. Well, it's whatever day we're in here. So it's that they kind of base it off of that. He's done well up to this point, and they just progress you through the day. So today was, limited work and no contact, I think was the schedule for today. So that's kind of what we're doing on Wednesdays. So it fit in perfect with that.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. This might be kind of an
All right,
obvious answer, but I'd hate to just assume something. When Patrick got hurt with the knee injury, you haven't run a quarterback sneak since. I assume that this situation is different. I mean, can you really get away with not having Patrick's legs whenever he does play be part of your offense?
Well, I mean, listen, it's hard to stop somebody from using their legs and running when they choose to run. So if he can't do that, he's probably not going to be able. He's probably not past the protocol to be able to do that. So that's kind of how that rolls. You don't want to put him out there if he can't. If he's going to be he can't move. So.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go Breland and then Harold. Go ahead, Breland.
Hey, good morning, Andy. You
Breland.
touched on it a little bit earlier today, but Sean McDermott, in just 3 short years, he's been able to take a team that hadn't made playoffs in 18 years to a team that is now playing against you in the AFC Championship. Just how incredible is it for you to see him find such success in Buffalo?
Yeah, well, it's tremendous. He deserves Coach of the Year, man. I mean, he's taken a franchise there. Both he and his general manager have put this thing together with some bold moves and production here now. So I think he's done tremendous. What a great thing for the NFL and for Buffalo, which is you've been there, I'm sure, just for a game. That's they love football in Buffalo, and he's really done a nice job with that whole program.
We'll go last to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Andy, hope you're doing well.
Thanks, Harold.
When it comes to Matt Milano, the Bills are 12-0, and they've averaged, I think, 18.6 points defensively given up. It's like one of the top in the league. What is it about him specifically being the quarterback on the defense that you guys face a challenge for? Because you did have to face him in the first game, obviously, but him specifically, where's that change come?
Yeah, well, he's a heck of a football player. Plays with great energy. He's a good cover guy. Good against the run. He is our quarterback of that group, and he was missing our last game. So we look forward to the challenge of playing against him. He's one heck of a player, and that's what this is all about. So they'll be different. I mean, they'll be different than what they were when we played them, and our guys understand that.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we've got Cole Hardman coming up next.
As you guys have started your film prep and now are practicing, I was just wondering, generally speaking, what are some of the identifying factors of what the Bills defense brings to the table?
I think they're a fast bunch of guys that get to the ball very fast. I think they're physical at the point of attack. I think they know what they want to do. I think they're playing better later in the year as a unit. So I think it's just up to us, to take what they give us and and capitalize on the mistakes that they make.
Next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, McCall. Last time you guys faced the Bills, they played you in a pretty evident way as far as trying to take away the deep pass and letting you guys run. What do you remember about that game? And also, what adjustments do you have to make when a defense tries to play you guys that way?
Like I just said earlier, a lot of teams play us, trying to take away the deep ball, by having their safeties back in the end zone. So I mean, we just got to take the underneath routes, the short quick throws, and take advantage of the run game with a less stacked box, and then hopefully we can get those guys to come up and honor our run game with the short passes, and then take our chances deep when we get them. So just got to keep that philosophy and don't get greedy, and just keep with it, just keep going short, medium, intermediate, whatever it may be, and then take our shots down the field.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Nicole, nice shirt, by the way.
Appreciate it.
When it comes to just Patrick Mahomes, just talk us through your initial reaction, of course, when you saw the injury and what your initial thoughts were, and then how you're seeing him in practice. That did you have to work with him, or did you not get the opportunity to work with him? Just what are you seeing about him going forward?
I mean, during the game, when somebody of his caliber and a leader of the team go down, you all in shock and like, oh, hold on, is that Pat right there? It just, I think it's a shock at first, but then again, it's next man up. So I think Chad came in, did a great job, and got us to win. And as far as now, I guess they just gonna take him through his protocol, what he got to do, and if he play, he play. I mean, that's out of my hands. I don't know nothing about that, so I'll just let them the guy that's above me take care of all that. So
We've got two more. We'll go Seren and then Nate. Go ahead, Seren.
McCole, Coach McDermott and Steve Spagnuolo worked together back in the day in Philadelphia. They worked under Jim Johnson, and Sean was kind of talking about some of the similarities, maybe their mindsets and everything. Do you see similarities when you look at Buffalo on tape, and then when you work against when it's defensive reps on your own practice? Are there some things that are similar in how they work?
I think they got a similar philosophy. But as far as I'm looking at, I think they're both aggressive at times, and they know like when they want to be aggressive, or when they got something in mind, or what they kind of trying to accomplish. I think that's kind of similarities in both of their defenses, and kind of certain differences we see at practice. When we go against the one, so you definitely see the similarities for sure. So
we'll go last to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, McCole, just wanted to ask you about Sammy and Clyde. Just how impactful is it to potentially have them for this game, and going through the pro season for the first time for you? Just what can you sort of relay to Clyde? Obviously, seeing what happened last week and preparing him for perhaps his postseason debut.
It'll be good to have both of those guys back. Hopefully, they can be out there and play with us, man, and take necessary steps to be healthy in the game, or healthy enough to to get some production out of them. And for Clyde, I think. And I just tell them, it's everything's faster. It happens a lot faster. Guys are moving, and I just treat it like any other game. I don't make it bigger than what it is. Go out there, play your game, play how you're supposed to play, do what you can do, and then everything else will fall in place. So.
All right, we'll get started, and we will start first with Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Chad, after the Falcons game, Patrick and Andy had both talked about maybe some protection calls weren't what they wanted against some blitzes. I know the Browns don't blitz a lot, but from what you saw when you're in the game and not, how did that process go, and how do you feel about that group going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think we feel very confident in our protection calls. I think Patrick's progressed since day one. He's a smart player, understands what the defense is doing. And even, me with 13 years, this team with Buffalo, they'll present some disguise out there for us, which will make it difficult in some protections. Our back might have to work at sometimes, but I think we feel confident in our protection calls.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Chad, have you seen much recently from the Bills on defense that maybe you didn't see when you played them, when you were getting ready to play them earlier in the year?
Well, I definitely think they're flying around. I mean, it's a veteran group. They got the linebacker back, Milano, so he's a key player for them as well. But they're very aggressive. I mean, they got a veteran group in the back end. Linebackers are very, very mobile and can run around, and defensive line's active. So it's a good group. I think they're just flying around, and obviously with this game, being the AFC Championship, the ante just goes up, and we're going to anticipate their best shot.
Next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Chad. My question is two-pronged. Knowing that everything that's going on with the injury to Pat this week, how has that changed your week, if at all? And then the second part is just what would it mean if you did get to start in what would be this AFC title game to your career?
Yeah, I mean, for my preparation, I mean, it's going to stay the same. Prepare like you're the starter each and every week, no matter what happens. And I have to be prepared, even if something were to happen. And, whatever does happen, happens. And for me, I just take it each day at a time. And, always stay ready. You never know who's going to be in, and we'll be excited to play.
We'll go last to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Chad, is there something, obviously you had to come in without being, warmed up and everything during the game and maybe not getting as many reps during the week. Is there something like that you can tell Patrick if he ends up not practicing, but goes little tricks of the trade on how you're more ready when you don't get the reps?
Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest if you don't get the reps during the week. Obviously last week was the same way, but mentally you have to stay in it. I think in the back when, Patrick was in last week during every practice, Matt and I are in the back during our drops, going through our progressions. So that thing doesn't change. We try to stay physically ready after practice. We get the throws. Matt and I both get the throws that we need that Patrick, took during the week. And, we just go about our business that way.
Hey,
pleasure.
Can you talk a little bit about Josh Allen? Have you seen him progress? I mean, you guys saw him earlier this season, but now that they're playing on this streak, what do you see from this quarterback?
I think he's, coming into his own. He's definitely grown into his own. More comfortable, more confidence. I was able to play against him 2018 when I was in Houston. Obviously he was the younger quarterback. But to just see his progression, from then to now, he's clearly, one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Can throw the ball a mile, can use his legs. He's real physical, when he's running the ball. So he turns into a running back. Our hands are full this week, if you talk about Josh Allen.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Taryn, you were caught on NFL films talking about Ed Reed when you made that interception on the sideline. Just in that context, what has goal visualization meant to you, and what does it mean even at the team level moving forward as you guys push towards the second Super Bowl?
It's everything. I think, you visualizing, obviously, certain plays that you can make, certain moments. You just try to, put yourself in those situations. I think for me, just being from Louisiana, I was able to really, watch Ed Reed, up close and personal. And, he meant a lot to his football team. So for me, it's all about continuing to motivate myself, continuing to chase greatness. And, I think anytime you bring up Ed Reed's name, he's usually in a company of his own. So, he tends to get my heights, set really high.
Let's go next to Matt Mcmullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Taryn, you faced him once this year, but when you look at the film and you think about your previous matchup against him, why has Stephon Diggs been so successful this year?
Well, he's a great receiver. He can do it all. They line him up at number one, number two, number three. They find mismatches for him. But even when they can't find a mismatch, he's lining up on number one cornerbacks and, he's going to work. So, he's one of those guys that we got to know where he is in the formation. And then, too, we got to understand, when the game's on the line and, you in these certain situations, you got to know where the ball's going. So, I think he's probably the most targeted receiver, in the NFL. So, whoever's in front of him, got tough duty.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Taryn, as a quick follow-up to Karen's first question, when you were mentioning Josh Allen and what stands out to you about him, but it's been a while since you have played the Bills, week 6, but what's the biggest difference that you see in the preparing for them this week that you didn't see back in week 6?
Well, I think really every game is different. I think every team, goes into, certain games and they want to accomplish certain things. I think this time around, you're going to see a quarterback that's, really understand, where the ball is supposed to go. I think the last time we played him, it probably wasn't his best outing as a quarterback. So I'm pretty sure he's going to come in here this Sunday, try to get into a rhythm, fairly quickly. I can see them, using his legs early on to kind of get him in a groove because he's one of those quarterbacks. Once he gets in a groove, once he gets his confidence up, he's tough to stop. So, I think it'll be really important for us to come out of the gates, playing really, really hard, really fast, and everybody communicating.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Tyron, you've been one of the better players in terms of run support, just as much as you are trying to manipulate the quarterback from the robber position. I just wonder, when you go through pre-snap reads, how different, how similar is it when you should, have a responsibility in run support versus the interception with Mayfield, where you moved a couple different spots before the ball, understanding that it was probably going to be a pass?
Yeah, I think, pre-snap just, I think it, allows you to, understand where you're supposed to be if you get a certain play. And I think for me, I just try to take that pre-snap, judgment, try to make that judgment pre-snap and, put my body in a position where I can make the play or, one of my teammates can make the play. I think that's really the kind of the thought process.
And we'll go last to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyron. I think it's 5 interceptions in the last 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. How much of that can you point to your film study? Can you say you wouldn't have had any of those without your during the week preparation? And Brad, I'll have one quick follow-up if I could.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, really, based off that. I don't think a lot of quarterbacks just, really throw the ball at me. I think it's more, scheme and schematic and trying to find a way to get the receiver open. But once you're able to kind of diagnose the route concepts and the patterns, I just try to, put myself in position, to make a play.
And this interception streak, if you will, sort of coincides from you sort of playing more safety and less slot coverage. Can that explain this as well? Do you feel like you're more often in position to make a play on the ball from a safety position?
I think any position on the field really allows you, the chance to kind of make those plays. I think for me, it's just all about staying committed. I think early on in the season, I wasn't necessarily making those plays. And, I think, as a high competitor, you can kind of get out of it and thinking that none of those plays are ever going to come to you. But, for me, I think the challenge is just staying involved, trying my best to stay involved and stay committed to what my coaches is doing. And, I guess some good things have been happening for me lately.
All right, we'll start first with Todd Libo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Chris, when you're looking at tape of Buffalo right now, do they look like a really confident team? They've only lost once since you guys played them, and that was that Hail Mary. Do they look like a team coming in with a lot of confidence?
Yeah, they're rolling right now. They're playing some of their best ball, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The defense has improved since week 6, since we played them, and quarterback is playing outstanding. Been saying it all year. He's playing at an MVP caliber level. So they're steamrolling right now, man. They're firing on all cylinders.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Chris, on the inside, you're going to be going up against an old teammate in Mitch Morse. Just curious, what is it about, scouting one of your old teammates, and you still keep in touch with Mitch?
Unfortunately, I don't, man. It's weird because I forgot that he played the first time we played him. I seen him out there. I'm like, Mitch, you still look good, man. It's always competitive when you get to go against guys that you once played with, and it's all fun. It's competition. My team against his, and may the best guy wins.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Chris, kind of twofold here. You kind of night and day, and the team you're going up against. The 2 running backs pounding away with the Cleveland Browns last week to a team that really seems to not have any problem abandoning the run. Just what is it? How difficult is it to make that kind of change? And do you like that they are one that you really guys can focus on the pass rush?
Well, the team. It reminds me a lot of us 2 years ago, when we had the high-powered offense and we was able to score at will. Those guys can score at will, man. Singletary, the running back, he they can still run the ball. I don't think they just completely abandoned, but their quarterback is doing so well, so why not leave it in the quarterback hands? So we got to try to stop the run and contain this quarterback. The guy can throw 80-yard bombers. He can throw 60 yards on a run. So, we got to try to contain him and slow him down. I don't think we're going to be able to stop him, but we can contain him.
Got time for 2 more. We'll go Pete and then Harold. Go ahead, Pete.
Chris, I have a question about Allen as well. Based upon your meetings and your film work, it just seems like he's one of the stronger quarterbacks in the league as far as pocket presence. What do you think maybe the keys are going to be able to contain him and get him down on Sunday?
Try to collapse the pocket as a front four and play fundamentally sound on the back end. Spags usually have a heck of a game plan for us. and we play fundamentally sound and limit our mistakes and force turnovers, I think we can contain these guys. Sounds easy, but it's far from easy. These guys are dynamic. You know, they got one of the better wide receivers in this game, and Stephon Diggs, he can line up all over the place. So, you know, we got to try to make sure we know where he's at. Him and Cole Beasley, one of the best slots in the game, and try to contain those guys.
We'll last to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Chris, when Patrick went down, you guys definitely stepped up in his absence, and you guys are now 12th in scoring defense. Overall, you've steadily improved a little bit slowly but surely. What has gone on to the defense's confidence, knowing that, when the game's on your backs, you guys have the opportunity and you do close out games? How confident are you guys going into this?
That shows the character of his team, man. When one guy goes down, we can all pick it back up, man. Chad Henne did his thing on offense. And defense, we needed to give the ball back to our offense. We knew that going into that drive, that it was going to be important on the outcome of this drive and the outcome of the game. And we had to force a few drives to let them not get a first down. They end up getting it on the quarterback sneak. And, the first play, we stopped Nick Chubb on stopped him 2 yards in the backfield. Then third down came, we made them check it down fast, and they're just fundamentally sound defense. We was able to get off the field, get a ball back to our offense, and let them do their thing. But everyone just had to step it up. We knew, no one wanted to go home, and we knew how important the drive was.
Tyreek, so much of this season has come down to having an opportunity to go back to the Super Bowl. I just wonder, from your perspective, what is the sense in the building, in the facility right now, knowing that you guys are one game away from returning to the Super Bowl?
Well, you know what? I mean, to be honest, I feel like no one is like really thinking about, actually going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we're all focused on the Buffalo Bills because obviously that's the task at hand. So that's been like everybody's focus right now. Like that's kind of the way we do things around here. Just focus 1 week at a time. And when the Super Bowl is here, the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl, baby.
Go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Tyreek.
Hey.
Obviously, elite players like to go against elite players. And
Right.
The Bills, they got Tre'Davious White, their cornerback, 2-time Pro Bowler. But as for you as one of the NFL's top receivers, does it change your mentality when you're going into the week knowing that you have to prepare to face a guy like Tre'Davious White?
Nah, man. I mean, he's a tremendous player. I mean, I think he fits their team very well. And, I just feel like at the very end of the day, it's still football. I've been playing this sport ever since I was 5 years old, so I'm gonna still go out there and I'm gonna compete and I'm gonna work my tail off. He gonna win some plays, I'm gonna win some plays, so that's just how it goes. Now I'm gonna do my job so I can win the majority of the plays. But, let's be realistic, so that's that.
Go next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Tyreek.
Hey.
Kind of a two-part question, Brad, if that's okay. Can you just take us through that catch you made the other day? The ball basically touched every part of your body, and you kept your concentration. How much was that just instinct? How much could you feel yourself concentrating?
Well, that goes back to just wanting to compete. I've always been the smallest guy, probably on like every team I've been on, but I've always had the most heart, and with that, I'm always outplay my height, so those 50-50 balls, I want to make every single one on mine, and and I just didn't want to make the same mistake I did during the Broncos game, where like the ball hit every part of my body. And well, last week, the same thing happened and I knew I caught it, so.
And the other part, Brad, thanks for the follow-up, is just, Tyreek, it's probably hard to describe this, but what do you think the things you've made the greatest strides in and just becoming a complete receiver have been? I mean, it's been a while since you can say that, but what are you most proud of, the 2 or 3 things that made you a full receiver?
Probably the one thing I'm really proud of, is just being able to like learn from different guys and just being able to like take coaching from like Coach Reed or a Greg, or just being able to like just be a student of the game, because like when you come into the league, like you think you hot shit, so 5th round draft pick, so you automatically think you the man, especially like I feel like most guys don't like, take what's given to them. Same thing with Kelsey. He came in, he's able to be, coached by one of the greatest coaches ever, so I mean, that's kind of what I'm very appreciative of, just being a student of the game, just being able to learn from different minds and just hear like different perspectives, like the same thing Robert Saleh said about, bringing all these different coaches in and stuff like that, hearing from like different point of views, because everybody, like not one coach is going to be able to like give you, all of the information to be the best wide receiver. But if I'm able to listen to Coach Reed, if I'm able to listen to Keith Williams, if I'm able to listen to Greg Lewis or EB or like Pat, wherever he want me to be, I'm able to like make my game better and better and better, so just that.
Let's go next to Matt Mcmullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Tyreek, kind of similar question here, but I know how hard you've worked to become a complete receiver. What's it mean to you then that with the season on the line, Coach Reed goes to you on that fourth down play?
It means a lot, man. That means I've come a long way from the return specialist days, and that makes me feel like a great, what I'm saying? Because, like growing up, man, I've always dreamed about being in the NFL and just making like those splash plays when you're like on ESPN, when they like roll the play back. Like I've always dreamed of moments like that. And for me, that's like a moment come true, So Coach Reed, thank you, man, for that moment. My family is thanks to you, Coach Reed. Thank you.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyreek. So what exactly was it that happened on the sideline between you and Greg Lewis? Can you kind of explain that?
It's just my energy level, man. I feel like I play the game with so much passion, and like, I mean, not only me, but we put so much into this game that, like I come off the sideline, like fired up, and I just give my coach a shove, so that's just me and my personality, man. I'm just fired up and I'm just happy, just to be in the NFL and just to be a part of this great organization, so I mean, a lot of people seen it as me like being a hothead on the sideline, being a diva, you could say, but it wasn't nothing like that. It was just I'm fired up and just trying to give the guys energy, so because as you've seen, like think about it, like I just wish people, I mean, everybody would just think about it. If I would have really pushed my coach, everybody would have been holding me back. So it was just like one of those fired up pushing, we laughing, we giggling, we just enjoying, each other, so that's all it was.
We'll go final two, Karen Kornacki and then Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Tyreek. You're awesome.
Hey, you're awesome.
I wanted to just ask you, I mean, in that game, that fourth down play, you didn't
Right.
have Patrick and you guys stepped up. I mean, you and Travis Kelce and your defense. So is that the attitude that whether Patrick can play this week or not, whether he's 100% or not, you guys
Right.
know that by stepping up, you can still get to where you want to go?
I mean, the goal is to have Patrick, but I really don't know. But I feel like it doesn't matter who out there, whoever steps in at quarterback, we're gonna put our confidence in them the same way this organization, has their back to be able to back up one of the best quarterbacks in the game, So, I mean, if Chad come in the game and he's feeling like awkward or something like that, then like who knows, man, how that game would have turned out. But I feel like the moment he came in, guys were like patting him on the back, showing him love, making plays for him. The run game got going, offensive line got blocking, so things like that, really, helps a guy out, who's been in this league a long time. So, I mean, it's not too hard for him. But if he is in there, we still gonna compete, because it's just in us, like we just can't go out there on Sunday and not play hard, because we wouldn't be playing at the highest level if it wasn't in us. So
Next and last to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Thanks, Brad. I'll just one quick thing after this. But Tyreek, you mentioned how you're a student of the game. You've talked about watching other wide receivers on film before. What have you seen this
Right.
year from Stephon Diggs taking off? And has there been anything that you like that he did that maybe you implement to your game?
I don't know, man. I just love his rack ability. Like when I think of Stephon Diggs, I think of rack ability, and I also think about being able to like get in and out of breaks and his routes and stuff like that. He's a great receiver. He's one of the top receivers of the game, and I really respect him. So I mean, we just got to see who has the better game, him or Kelsey. because I'm still a return specialist.
I know that's actually what I was going to ask you about. This return specialist thing, it happened a couple of years ago. Was that like the greatest
Right.
gift you could have gotten for your career as far as just like
Yeah.
everyday motivation, that type of thing?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. That's definitely, up there, high on the charts, but I mean, I guess I fit well in the scheme. That's all I gotta say. I just fit well in the scheme, man. And got a great quarterback, great coach, great weapons all around me, great offensive line. So I just fit well in the scheme.
We'll go first to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Eric. After the Falcons game, Patrick and Andy both talked about some issues with protection calls. From your point of view, what was the problem, and how did you guys fix it over the last 3 weeks? It looks like you played really well against the Browns.
That was a few weeks ago. I do. Pat makes protection calls, and we do whatever he says. So you're asking the wrong guy on that. I mean, I'm moved on from that game, so I don't even know how to answer that.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Fish. You're not going to be playing against him, but you're going to be seeing Mitch Morse this week. What was Mitch like as a teammate, and what do you miss about having him around? And Brad, I'll have a follow-up.
Yeah, Mitch is an awesome dude. Obviously, a tremendous athlete. He's doing a great job over there. I'm glad he's having a successful career, and he's just one of the guys. We got a good group in the line room. We've had a good group for many years, so we're fortunate in that area. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing him again out there, and obviously, we're not hoping for too much success for him, but yeah, he's a good guy.
And you've had Nick Allegretti playing next to you all year. I mean, it's his first year as a starter and playing, and now it's his first time in the postseason. What is it that you've been able to help him along with, and what advice have you been able to give him?
Yeah, I've taken the line of scrimmage quite a few times, so I've seen a lot of different fronts, a lot of different techniques. And Nick was just an awesome guy to step in there and do a great job. He's done an excellent job all year. We have great chemistry together, good communication. We don't have to over communicate anything. We're kind of on the same page, and we just kind of have that same mentality and go work our tails off and do our job. And he's been doing a great job.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Good, Pete.
Eric, little lighthearted thing for you here. It was recently the 1-year anniversary of the Bud Light special celebration. I was wondering since then, how many times has fans and maybe friends asked you about that and just reminiscing on that moment?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It was a good memory, good time. Everyone keeps sending me these miniature me that are in like every store apparently right now. Everyone's taking pictures with me, but I'm like this tall. So that's pretty funny, but yeah, it was a good time. It'll be something that I remember forever.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Eric. Jerry Hughes and then Matt Milano, especially with the return of Matt Milano, this team is 12-0 and they've had 18.6 of scoring defense, one of the top in the league since he's played in games he's played in. What is it about Matt Milano and then Jerry Hughes that just makes this Buffalo defense so hard that you guys are facing on Sunday?
Yeah, they're great experienced players. They've seen a lot of football, and I don't think Milano was in there last time we played, but we look forward to any challenge that's presented to us. They fly around, do a good job, and we're looking forward to showing up and playing Chiefs football.
We've got 3 left. We'll go right down the line, starting with Todd Libo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Fish. The Bills in their first playoff game didn't get to Rivers and didn't cause any sacks. Last time they got to Lamar like 4 times. What'd they do differently? They don't have a lot of sacks, right? They're not at the top of the league, but what'd you see from them this last time out that they were able to get to the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into getting to the quarterback. Whether it's straight up getting beat, sending the line the wrong way towards pressure or whatever. We diagnose all that, and we just go out there and do our job. We do a lot of film study, and we just take the field with the attitude that they're not getting to the quarterback. So we take pride in that, as I'm sure every line does. Obviously, everything doesn't always go your way, but we're out there to do our job the best we can and have fun doing it.
Go next to Breland Moore. Go ahead, Breland.
Hey, Fish. Good afternoon. Chris Jones was just up here talking about how the defense really had to step up when Patrick Mahomes went out. But for you guys, you're protecting Chad Henne. How important was it, and how proud of you are you of your guys that they also stepped up to protect your backup quarterback?
Yeah, anytime you have a situation like that, I think we take it upon ourselves to take our game up to the next level. Not that we're already not trying to be at the highest level we can be, but whatever we can do to make Chad feel comfortable when he comes in a situation like that, and talk to him after the game. I was really happy for him. He came in, got his playoff win. That was awesome to be a part of. He came in that huddle, and he was just crisp as could be. He was just spitting out the play calls perfectly. No hesitation. He was ready to go.
And we'll go last to Nick Jacobs. Go ahead, Nick.
Eric, for you and for this team, you guys took everybody's best shot for 16 weeks. How much did that help you guys in certain moments last week, and how much do you think it can help you this week?
Yeah, I think we've been getting everybody's best shot for quite a while now, and I think it's sometimes it can be exhausting. Like in the preparation, you cannot show up and have an off day. Everyone's coming for you. Everybody wants the top dog. And, I think we've been working our tails off to be in that spot. So we're not letting off the gas. We're preparing the same. We've been preparing for many years now. And, that's what Coach Reed expects of us. EB expects of us. We just, they're long seasons. Going into week 19 here, but we've had this goal in mind, and we've done everything we've needed to do so far. We just need to keep it going.